I'm Casey Healy from Central 21 Novocastrian, and Nick Ball joins me in the office from Innovate Finance. Thanks for coming in, Nick.
Thanks.
Nick's just here to keep us updated on what's happening in the finance market. We like to keep our landlords educated to understand what rates are available and what's happening in that finance space. So a lot going on.
There is plenty going on at the moment. Has been the case for pretty much the last 12 months. It's been quite a turbulent period, I'd say.
It has, hasn't it? Things are...
It's just ongoing.
Yes. I know myself trying to buy an investment property at the moment. Like, you're fighting against 30 and 40 people at every open house. It's ridiculous.
I think the market across Australia is madness.
So you're not just seeing it with your Newcastle clients at all?
It's everywhere, regional, everywhere, yeah. And we do it in Melbourne, Sydney. It is what it is at the moment across the entire country.
Good time to be in real estate, let's say.
Absolutely.
So we've seen a little bit of movement at the moment on those fixed rates and those longer term 2 to 4 year fixed rates. What's happening and what do you think behind the scenes is going on there?
Yeah. I guess we've learnt over the last few years to watch the owner occupied fixed rate market to see where rates are going. Our headlines, the only way we don't have a crystal ball.
No.
That's one way of trying to understand what's happening. So obviously over the past 6 months we've seen owner occupied fixed rates at the 4 year mark come right down to those sub 2%. In the past week we've seen now 3 big banks start to lift those 4 year rates back up, only by about 0.2%, some of them, but it's telling us something.
I was going to say, what's it telling?
Yeah, obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but it's saying to us they're seeing rates in 4 years potentially being higher.
Yep.
They're starting to price in a move. But in saying that, on the converse of what they've done there is to stay competitive. They've brought down, the 2 and 3 year fixed rates. So they've come down even further. So they're still actively trying to buy business, but they're noting.
They're noting, definitely. Timeframes at the moment for approvals, how's that?
Yeah, it's still very varied across the different lenders. Some much slower than others. I think with what's going on in the market, it's incredibly busy out there. So it really does depend on the lender as to what that's doing. But I'd still say, we're still seeing pretty significant delays.
Is that for like final approvals, pre-approvals, or just straight across
the board?
More so
pre-approvals. Yeah, final approval. If there's a finance clause in play or something like that, they tend to be a lot better.
Yep.
It's more for those pre-approvals. And I'm guessing what we're seeing across the market is, given the competitive nature out there, a lot of pre-approvals aren't actually going through. So that's probably why they've put them, in a different...
They're not a priority at this stage. Yep. Investment loans. So we're seeing some...
We've definitely seen interest rates come down for investors. That's probably been one of the biggest things we've noticed in the last 3 to 6 months. Why? It's a good time.
We haven't seen investors in the market like up until of late. Like they haven't been around for a significant period now.
Oh yeah. From this time last year through to about December, there was first home buyers and upsizers. But I think we're definitely starting to see investors come back in. A couple of reasons. Look at what the rental vacancy rates are across the whole of the country.
Really minimal.
It's like pretty crazy.
Record lows.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Banks' policies are starting to relax in terms of investors. So, how much rental shading they take on the income from a rental property is decreased. It's getting better again. The policies post-COVID have started to go back to what it was like beforehand. So I think they're more supportive of investors. And I guess it's just a good time.
There's a bit more confidence back in the market, I think. So
absolutely, and I think in a rising market, investors see some opportunity there, and obviously rental returns are
huge
on the up
at the moment.
So I guess they're being rewarded too by bank rates at the moment. We're seeing fixed interest rates for principal and interest investment loans down in the low 2s, which is...
Yeah, I was going to say, when was the last time you've seen that?
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's good for investors if they want to lock in some surety, but even in the variable rate market, it's really good. And the difference between interest and only and principal and interest is really squeezed together, which is great.
Yes, fantastic. Retraction of COVID policies. We're coming to the end of the JobKeeper at the end of this week. So what are we seeing the banks doing in that space?
Absolutely, and it's probably been the bugbear personally for finance brokers and banks in the last 6 months is a lot of the COVID policies were quite harsh. Even if you weren't affected, just move those goalposts, and it was a bit of an unknown as to what you're going to face when submitting that application. But in the past 2 or 3 weeks, we're starting to see a lot of the banks wind those back, go back to what they were assessing applications at pre-COVID, which I think, you know, we all know in most areas in Australia we're probably in a different position than what we were 6 months ago. So that's a really good sign.
Fantastic. So that's our monthly update. Things looking up. Obviously, things have been looking up for the past few months, but it's definitely a strong market out there, and with the banks lightening things, we might see some more investors back into the market, which is great, and obviously a great time to get into the market considering it is on that up.
Absolutely.
So I'm Casey Healy, Director here at Century 21. If you have any inquiries in relation to looking at finance, refinancing, anything like that, please do reach out to Nick. I can put my hand up and vouch for his service. He's helped me out a couple of times. So he is great at what he does, and will get you the best rate and the best deal to ensure you are maximising your return on investment. So thanks for coming in, Nick. Thanks for this month's video. We'll chat with you all soon.